Alright, guys, just wanted to share this with y'all real quick. So I got a 2015 Chevy Silverado 1500 and got about 79,000 miles on it. Ran awesome for about a couple thousand, and the Stabilitrak crap started up. It was so intermittent, went away right away. I didn't think much of it, but it got to the point where it kept going into limp mode, and it instrument cluster was just going nuts and all kinds of electrical crap going on, and got basically undrivable. Other than that, truck's been awesome. So I really dug into this, did a lot of research. I've seen a lot of forums of people going to the dealership and mechanics and spending thousands on ECM resets and replacements and replacing all these modules, doing all this work, ignoring basically a lot of the integral electrical crap involved. So started looking into a lot of these CAN bus diagrams and how they communicate and all of this. And so of course I started with the ground points, cleaned everything from the G101 to like G115 or something like that. I even went as far as, I know there's a lot of people out there talking about the G218 on the up by the dash by the A-pillar. I checked both of those, the driver and the passenger side, and there was nothing pinched in between the nut and the stud. So I went ahead, cleaned it, added some dielectric to be safe, did all kinds of crap. It was still giving me problems, just non-stop. I did add an AFM disabler for max cylinder, just a little, plugged right into the OBD. But just, it was still causing me a lot of problems. I noticed the engine performance was just a little bit laggy, but I just kind of took that to be this electrical crap going on. So finally, man, I went through everything. I talked to somebody pretty experienced with all of this, and I was looking at sensors, everything from the ambient temperature sensor to the brake pedal position sensor to the steering position sensor, all of this crap. He's pretty much said, nah, it ain't gonna be that, man. So I kind of just went on from there, found a couple more ground points here and there, cleaned them, nothing was working. What I think finally helped for me was, I know a lot of people have been replacing the entire fuse box inside the engine bay. What I did was I actually replaced every 2 and 3 mini and micro fuse, both in the engine compartment as well as driver and passenger side. I didn't mess with the J-case fuses because I didn't see anything that they were tied to that would be causing electrical issues this severe. The only reason I did all of the others was because I had a bulk quantity of them, and I've still got a lot left over after replacing all of them. So I figured, why not, just be safe. There might be a high resistance point in there somewhere causing a problem. These newer vehicles, their electrical systems and their computers are just ridiculously sensitive, so I figured, hey, better safe than sorry. I also did a little work on the transmission prior to that too. I did some work on the bypass valve, which I know it sticks a lot in the 6L80s, so I modded it to where it will stay open at all times, along with the transmission cooler with a thermostat inside of it for the colder weather coming up. That was end of summer. Ran great for about 2 months. I was like, hey, I got this licked. I also ran a couple ground points. I ran a new ground point from the right there at the firewall coming to the back of the engine block. I actually added to that a ground point going to the hood, just to see if I could do anything about maybe RF interference or something, interfering with the computer driving through the city or whatever. But I had it licked for a while. Then we got a cold morning. It was about 25 degrees outside, and as soon as I started her up to warm up, Stabilitrak limp mode, reduced steering, all that crap started coming up. So, same thing all the way to work, engine cluster going nuts, basically undrivable. Next 3 days, everything, it was cold outside, but it was like not hitting below 35. And she ran great to and from work, no problems at all. Figured maybe it was just a kind of a freak incident. Then Friday, it ended up doing it again, very intermittently, but it was doing it, and it was, I think, 50 on the way home, and she's run fine in 50-degree weather before, so decided to take a look, dig a little more into research, see if I could possibly find anything else. So what I did Saturday was I actually added a couple more ground points. I added one directly from the negative battery terminal to the firewall. I also went in and I did another ground wire from the engine block to the firewall, just to, back up, try to help reduce any high resistance points from the cold weather. I know that a lot of people reported, a lot of electrical problems in cold weather with these vehicles and, other same generation Chevy vehicles. So with that, I also found one thing by accident. I ended up Googling it, and it seems like I think one or two other people I found had a similar issue that was causing the Stabilitrak and electrical problems, and that was actually the PCV hose. And on the end that went to the engine, it was sleeved over, but it's got the ring on the nipple there, so it was floating. And I think that was an intermittent issue, and with the cold weather, that slight loss of seal there was causing problems, because I did notice the Stabilitrak light on the instrument cluster would flash if I went over good, like a kind of a rough rocky area, and it wouldn't make it go away or make it appear, but it would cause that light to flicker. So I'm thinking maybe that hose rattling could be something to do with it. I don't know, but I did see some reports of that, as well as it causing that little bit of lag I noticed in the engine, which was gone when everything was running smooth, that kind of intermittent period there. So anyway, I just clamped the hose back on, and honestly, I feel like the engine has the best performance I've seen from it since I've had it. It runs great. I haven't run it yet because I want to wait. It's only about 50 when I tried it, maybe 48. I want to wait till a really cold day. I want to start it up, let it warm up, see if I get any lights or CELs, and then I'm going to take it out for a drive. I want to check the transmission because I was getting a loss, a TCM communication loss code 2 in there intermittently. All the codes varied, so I want to take it out. I want to check the shift points too. But for now, just starting her up and running, seems like everything's fine. So I'm going to wait for a cold today, give it a try. Hopefully this helps any of y'all who have been struggling. I would say definitely don't spend any money at a mechanic or dealer, anything, until you try these simple, cheap fixes, man. I didn't spend much. Give it a try, and at least, hey, you can say you did.